Let's model a door, and I'm going to provide this reference image, so just follow the link in the description if you want to download it and model along with me. My purpose for this is to use this in the hallway scene, that creepy, haunted horror hallway, but you could use this for any project you might have. So I've just brought this in as a reference image. I moved it back a little bit, and I've positioned my 3D cursor down there. We're going to get started. We'll start with making the door frame. There's so many different types of doors, so this is what I've got for you. So I'm going to bring in a plane, and I'm going to rotate X 90. Just going to slide it up and scale it until it's pretty much the right size. Press 2 for edge selection, and I'm going to bring it up to the top here. I'll go into wireframe, and I'm going to take the bottom and slide it down there. And really all we want to do right this minute is create this one piece right there. So I'm going to drag an edge loop in here, and I'm going to bring it over until it's right there, right about there. All right, I'm going to take this and delete it. So that's all we've got, and that's all we need for the moment. Okay, in solid view, I'm going to select that edge. Where am I? Am I in solid view? Yes, I am. Okay, and I'm going to extrude back a little ways, just as much as you want to. All right, I'm going to take this edge, and I'm going to extrude down just a little bit, because as you can see, it goes down in. And look from the front and extrude over to about there. And then I'm going to turn on snap to edge. I'm going to extrude over, and I'm going to press Control and snap to there. Okay, so now I'm going to select this edge, and I'm going to bevel this. I'm just doing this by eye. I'm not looking at the diagram. I'm going to use 3. Now this is a piece of wood, so I don't want too big of a bevel. Select here, Control B. Select here and Control B, and select inside, and we'll also do that. Just make sure they don't cross over. So that is my piece right there. I'm going to turn on the cavity shader, and I want to have it go like this. I want that angle, so I'm going to come into edit mode and 1 for vertex selection, and just choose any one of these vertices. They're all at the same height, so I'll just choose choose that one. Shift S, cursor to selected, and I'm going to switch over to 3D cursor for my pivot. Then I'm going to select them again and look from the front. Okay, so now we're ready to do this. I'm going to use the shear tool, so down here on the side, I'm going to scroll down until I get this one here, shear. And you can see that this has popped up. I'm going to grab this green and pull it down like that. Let go, and then open the dialog box, and I want this to read 1. So just plug in 1. I'm going to scroll up, come back to here, and I've angled that down, as you can see there. Okay, I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to Shift C, bring my 3D cursor right back to the middle, and hopefully that is where we started. And I'm going to select this and make sure I set the origin to the 3D cursor, so all looks good, and mirror, and that's pretty good right there. Okay, so I want to do the top piece, so I'm going to take this and duplicate it. Shift D to duplicate, and I'm going to rotate Y 90. I'm going to turn the mirror off, and I'm just going to go into edit mode, and I'm just going to grab this. I press G, and I'm just pulling it. And then zoom in and line this up as good as I can. Somewhere around there is going to be just fine. Shift Alt and click that edge and pull it back past the middle point. And then I'm going to mirror this. That looks good. I'm going to turn on clipping and slide that into the middle. In object mode, I'm going to apply the mirror. That's still selected. I'm going to X dissolve edges. Okay, so I want to finish this up actually by putting a face in there and a bevel. You don't have to, but I think I'm going to want to do that. So I'm going to take that slash key to focus on it, go into edit mode, and in edge selection, select all that. I just pressed a Shift and Alt F to make a face. I'm going to do that on the other side. I have to make a face. They're both selected. And then I'm going to bevel. Control B and pull. Just give a little bit of a bevel like that. Slash key. And this one still has the mirror on it, so let's just focus on that. Just the top. Okay, in fact, it's already selected, so F to make a face. Control B, just pull just a little bit like that. Slash. I just like it a little bit better. All right, I'm going to apply the mirror, and I'm going to take both of those and Control J to join them. I think I'll come in here, select it all, M, merge by distance. I didn't get rid of anything but Alt N, recalculate outside just to make sure. All right, so I've got the frame of my door so far, and it's time to do the actual door itself. So I'm going to use a plane again. Rotate X 90. Scale it in a little bit. You can always scale it afterwards, so just basically make it fit, maybe a little bit looser. It doesn't have to be too snug. Come down here, I'm not going to snap or anything, I'm just going to pull it in. I'm going to go into wireframe. Okay, so to create this, I'm going to drop an edge loop right in the middle. Control B and split, just with 2 to the outside of these guys here. Okay, another one, and we'll do the inner section there. Okay, I'm going to drop an edge loop horizontally to the top of those squares to there. So now I have this area delineated. Another one here. Hold shift if you want to go a little bit slower. And one more at the bottom. Okay, that's good enough. All right. Press 3 for face selection. Now what I want to do is I want to break out these pieces for the effect that I want to use. So I'm going to go back into solid view. So in face selection, I'm going to select this one and then hold down Control to get that one. Shift and click this one, Control to get that one. I'm going to press P and break those out. So I've got sort of 2 long pieces of wood. Inside that, I'm going to have this one, and this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, this one, and this one. P to break those out. And then what I've got left are those ones. So I've got all my pieces. Now, I've got all these 4 sections. I don't need all those. I'm going to get rid of this one, and this one. And we're going to use just that one. I'm going to hide that for the moment. And this is what I have. Let's come back, doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to come into these. There are some extra edges I don't need, so into edge selection, I'm going to hold down Shift and select all these extra edges that I'm not going to need and dissolve them. So it's one long piece of wood. Let's come into this one and get rid of all of these. Dissolve edges, and we should be good. There shouldn't be any other ones in there. I want to, let's just hide that again. So these pieces here, I'm just going to take them, just going to move them out a little bit. So that's the main wood of the door. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude it back to make the thickness of the door. So I'll do something like this. Okay, and now I'm going to put a bevel on these. So I'm going to select here, add bevel. I'll go for 3. We'll try 0.01. And then I'll select all the other pieces. Select that last and Control L. Copy modifier so they all have a bevel. I'm going to Alt H and bring that piece back. Okay, it's hidden there. Let's take this and move it just a little bit forward like that. All right, so let's do the pattern on this. I'll go into wireframe. I've got it selected. I'm going to press I to inset, and I'm going to pull into about there where you can see the first sort of line. Okay, let's go back into solid view. And in edge selection, Shift Alt and click that outer edge. So this is we extruded or inset into this one. So I've got the outer edge, and I'm just going to give this a little bit of depth. So just pull back a bit. In face selection number 3, select this one and extrude it in a little bit, like that. Back in the front view and wireframe, eye right to the inner square there. So just come in as much as you want, something like that. Go back into solid and extrude that out a little ways. Then S to scale, come down like that. There's our piece. I'm going to focus on just on that now. And we'll do some beveling. So I'm going to select this edge. I think I'll select this edge and this edge. And I'm going to Control B to bevel, pull. And I'm not going to press C for clamp. I'm just going to make sure they don't overlap and then roll my mouse up maybe like that. So I've got, I think there's 2, 3, 4, 5 edges in there. Okay. Then I'll select, let's do this top one here. Control B, pull, give it a nice bevel. I'll use the same 5. 2 for edge selection, select that inner one at the bottom of the sort of square there. And Control B and pull, and maybe I could get away with just 3. And this very inner one as well, I'll bevel that with 3. If I can get it all. Actually, I'm going to merge by distance and recalculate outside and try that again. Control B, give it a little bit of a bevel. The final thing I want to do on this is Shift Alt and click this edge in the corner. I don't want it quite this sharp. I'm going to bevel this as well. So this one, and hold down Shift Alt and click there. Control B. 3, 4, or 5 is okay. So it'll look like this. Slash key to bring that back. And take this, and I'm just going to recess it a little bit. Okay, let's look from the front now. Go into edit mode, select it all, Shift D to duplicate, and position it in the second spot. Good enough. A to select it all. Now we're going to make these long ones. Shift D to duplicate, pull it down, and position it up near the top. And then go into wireframe, deselect, and box select down here, and pull this down. And down to about there. You can go into solid view so you can see if there's a gap. And that is it. Okay, so I'm going to take all the wood pieces of the door and Control J and join them, and just see, I'll just H to hide. They get it, Alt H, good. Okay, so I've got that, and I'm going to take this, and we'll try just Control J, join them together, and I still got the bevel on. Let's go in, select it all, and merge by distance. I got rid of 8 vertices. And I can now take the door itself and slide it back in. Okay, so far so good. We're ready to move on to the doorknob now. So let's just look in wireframe. There it is. My 3D cursor's down there. We're going to create the doorknob panel there. So let's. I'm going to use a plane for this. Rotate X90, G to go or grab whatever, and just approximate the size of this, something like that. Take this edge, pull it up to the top, and take this edge, pull it down to the bottom. And before I do anything though, just have a look at where it's positioned. I think I'll build it, and I may move it more central, so we'll see. Okay, so we got that. Actually, back in the solid view. Let's give this, let's round it first. Okay, in wireframe, select this edge and do Shift Control B and pull, and roll your mouse up a few until you're satisfied with the curvature. I think I'll do something like that. Okay, I'm going to extrude back, give it a little bit of depth, get rid of that back face. And take it and Alt-N, recalculate it inside. 3 for face selection and select that face. I to inset, pull it in a little bit. I'm not looking at the diagram, I'm just doing whatever I want to do. And in face selection, number 3, Shift Alt and click there. I'm gonna pull these out a little bit and then grab that again. I to inset, pull it in, not too much, just a little bit like that. You know what, I'll do that again. I'll get a little bit more, something like that. and then I'm going to pull this out. All right, and then I'm going to bevel this, Control B, and 3 should be good enough. And then I'm going to select this edge and this edge all the way around and bevel that with 3 as well. Okay, I can shade smooth that. That's going to be okay for, you know, you're not going to be that close to it, so don't worry about the shading right now. Just take this and push it onto the door like that. Okay, good. Let's take that now and select it all, and then Shift S, cursor to selected. Bring the 3D cursor right there, go back into wireframe. Let's do the doorknob itself. So I'm going to bring in a UV sphere, and I'm going to use 10 and 10. Scale it down. Basically position it. Rotate X90 so it's coming out at you. I'm going to pull it out, go back into solid view. I'm going to build this backwards and then we'll flip it around. It's a little bit easier. Select that vertex and Control plus to expand the selection and delete those vertices. Select that edge, E and S, and pull in like this. Now I don't want a round doorknob like that, although there are some. I'm going to scale this in the Y and flatten it like that. Then I'm going to grab that edge again and I'm going to extrude it back. E to extrude, I'm going to pull out a little bit, and then I'm going to E and S, come out, E, and come back a bit. I will put a subdivision on this, so I'll need a couple more edge loops. I'm going to drag an edge loop up there. Actually, maybe not quite that tight, to about there. Grab that edge and bevel it, Control B with 3. You can do this one or not, I'll just do it. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like with a Control 1. So there you go. Let's take this and let's rotate it RX 180 so it's now facing the correct way. Push that in like that, and we'll do just a little bit more. I'll take that center edge, Control B and pull, just with 2 though. E and Alt S and pull, just to give that effect. And out in the front, I will get rid of that vertex. Shift Alt and click that edge, and I will go E to pull in, E and S and F to make a face. And there's my doorknob. I'll be joining this later on. Let's go back into wireframe and do these bolts. I'm going to bring in a circle of 16, or with 16 vertices. F, RX 90. It's approximate size. It's all right to have it big, you know, to make it exaggerated. Extrude it back, get rid of that back face, take it, recalculate outside to flip any polys that are facing the wrong way. Bevel, I'm add another one. Okay, take the whole thing and push it in and shade smooth. Nice big bolt. If you don't like the size, just make it a little bit smaller. Okay, back in the wireframe. Shift D to duplicate. Pull that one up there. All right, so this is what we're getting so far. I'm going to join those, Control J. And now we'll do the keyhole. Different ways to do that. The way I'm going to do it is use a circle, but not with 16, with 18 vertices. And I'll show you why I decided to do that in just a minute. Rotate X90 and go into wireframe. And I do want the vertices showing. I'm going to bring it down to the approximate size. You don't want to make this too big. The reason I did that is so I could have 3 points down here with one right in the middle. That's why I used 18. I'm just going to pull those down. And I'm going to dissolve that vertex, get it out of there. Take these ones and Shift Control B to bevel, pull, and I'm probably good with just 3. And I think I'll do it here as well, but I might scale those in a bit. Shift Control B, pull with 3. I just want it a little bit round like that. F to make a face. Let's look at that in solid view, make sure we pull it up. We're going to use this to cut a hole, so give this some depth like that. Make sure the polys are facing the right way, and then pull it in. Doesn't really matter how far down you go. Okay, so now we grab this and add Boolean with difference. On the eyedropper, select that. It'll look all wonky. Apply that and delete that, and then come in. And in edge selection, Shift Alt and click. It'll probably take 2 clicks. to get the whole outside there. Control B to bevel, and a nice big bevel. There's 3, 4, I might do 5. One more thing, grab this face in face selection, give it a little eye inset. It's kind of like giving it a bevel, and you'll have that. Now we're going to shade smooth, and we're going to be joining this, so whether or not I add these modifiers now or not, doesn't matter. Weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth. So that clears that up, and we've pretty much done the door. It's up to you if you decide you want to join them or not. We're basically done, so let's get rid of that. Let's save that. Let's go Shift C just to bring the 3D cursor down there. And this is our door. I haven't shaded smooth yet because, just because. I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to join the door to it, so that obviously doesn't look that good. If I add weighted normal and normal's auto smooth, it may not fully clear it up, or it may, and it looks like it did. So that's all I would need to do. I'm going to just give this a little bit of color for the moment, and oh, looks like some stuff is flipped, isn't it? So I'm going to come into my door, recalculate outside, and okay, we're good. And I'm going to switch over here to object. I don't want to waste a lot of your time with this, but I'm just going to give. Let's see, that's the door, eh? Okay, I'll just leave that as pretty much white. As long as you have separate objects, you can colorize it the way you might like. I'm just going to do that so we can see it. And I said I was going to join at least this, so I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to apply that. And I'm going to come in here, and I don't generally like this pattern, but it's not that bad. I just find when I texture it, I don't like it as much. So I'm going to delete that and make a new face there. And I've applied that, so I'm going to Control J to join that there. That's going to be fine. And then over here, I want to have this as sort of like a dark kind of, I won't make it totally black, just like sort of a dark gray, but anyhow, that's it. I'm going to select everything and merge by distance. I didn't really need to do that, I guess. And I could turn on shadow. It's not really going to make much of a difference. I'll just drop a little circle underneath this, just so we can see the shadow. And oh, I suppose I could do something so you could see the thing. And that is our door, with the door frame ready to go into the wall. Okay, so very simple to do. So what I will do next is I will bring this into my hallway scene, and we'll see what it looks like in the scene itself and move on to some other stuff. All right, so if you want to model this, I will leave a link to the reference image, and you could use this in another scene or in a hallway scene like me. All right, thanks very much for watching. See you next time.